Hello there. Today I'm taking a look at the Rieslings from a fabulously historic house in Alsace, Maison Trimbach. So this is their Vielles Vignes Riesling 2019. Trimbach are a house that date back to 1626. They have an incredibly long history. For instance, they've owned the fabulous Clos Sainte Hune vineyard for over 200 years. So they have a long history of making fabulous Rieslings. Since its introduction, Trimbach have largely worked outside the Grand Cru system in Alsace. I know they do make wines with the Grand Cru designation, but quite a number of their wines sit outside that designation, and this is one of them. This includes fruit from the Grand Cru Rosacca, for instance, but also includes fruit from elsewhere. Essentially, this is a wine that is made from a number of parcels of vines, some of which are 70 or 60 plus years old. They're low yielding, they're from south and southeast facing vineyards. Some of these are in Eaux-de-Vie and others in Vieilles near the winery. So it's a wine assembled from a number of plots of these old vines. Everything's harvested by hand. Harvest is kept as late as possible to ensure the fruit is as ripe as can be. At the winery, the bunches are pressed gently in a pneumatic press. The juice runs into the stainless steel fermenting tanks entirely by gravity. Fermentation is kept cool to slow it down, so fermentation can last for 3 to 4 weeks. Fermentation finishes when the wine's completely dry. There's no malolactic conversion goes on, so it's the aim to retain as much of the fresh aromatics as possible and as much of the crisp, pungent acidity as they can. The wines are bottled in the spring following harvest, and for the Vielles Vignes cuvée, that stays in their cellars for 2 more years prior to release. So let's have a look at the wine, shall we? Initially, you've got a pale to medium yellow colour there, maybe a tiny touch of green sort of colour to it. The wine's 14% alcohol. There are some tears forming, but not a huge amount. It's a dry wine, so there's not sugar there to cause it to cling particularly to the glass. Let's see what we think of the aromas, shall we? The aromas have a pungent lime note. There's a sort of a slightly green apple note, perhaps a touch of quince. It's quite a good intensity. Maybe slight lifted notes of lime flower, sherbety sort of hints there. Let's have a taste, see what we make of it. From the outset, that's completely dry, and there's some really quite crisp acidity, and that's making the limey fruit almost have a sort of a waxy, toasty note. There's a slight honeyed note. There's a richness to the fruit here. This is richer than the more minerally, say, Clos Sainte Hune. I suppose the alcohol at 14% is adding a bit of weight and roundness to the mid palate. There's a pungency and a liminess coming through again. Lime, maybe slightly toasty, maybe slightly waxy towards the end. It's giving quite good length. Again, the freshness stays with the wine to the end. It's got a lovely intensity. I'm sure a wine with this level of intensity, with this crisp, fresh acidity, has the ability to age for several years. The roundness and the richness that it's got over the Frederick Ramil and the Clos Sainte Hune makes it much more approachable now, but the fact that it's completely dry and that really sharp acidity probably makes it more a wine to go along with food. I mean, in which case that would pair beautifully with a lot of seafood or possibly richer fish dishes. It'd be lovely with a lovely oily smoked salmon or something like that, but would also go with sort of lighter shellfish notes, and could easily accompany pork dishes as well, for instance, pork or chicken or something like that. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you've liked the tasting, do please press the like button. Do tell your friends about these videos that we're doing. Do please sign up and follow us on YouTube. It would be great to gain your following there. And then hopefully we'll see you again soon for another tasting. Goodbye for now.